The Srivijaya Empire. By the dawn of the 11th century, Srivijaya stood as the unrivaled maritime power of Southeast Asia. Its fleet still controlled the straits, its ports still bustled with traders from every corner of Asia. Envoys from the pagan kingdom and Chinese imperial court still arrived bearing gifts and letters of friendship. But the forces that had carried it to greatness were beginning to shift. New powers were rising. Old rivals were sharpening their ambitions. Regional Malay polities tested their strength against Srivijaya's fleets, while Muslim merchants, newly influential in the western seas, began reshaping alliances and trade flows that had once been the empire's lifeblood. In 1025, a storm came, not from the monsoon winds, but from across the Bay of Bengal. The Chola Empire of southern India, led by the formidable King Rajendra Chola I, launched a massive naval expedition. The Cholas were masters of both land warfare and seaborne campaigns, and they saw Srivijaya's dominance over the maritime trade routes as both an obstacle and an opportunity. The Chola fleet struck with precision. They attacked key Srivijayan ports along the Malay Peninsula and Sumatra, including the capital region near Palembang. Inscriptions in India boast of the capture of the Srivijayan king, Sangrama Vijayatunggaman, along with rich treasures. Though the Cholas did not hold territory for long, their assault shattered Srivijaya's aura of invincibility. Trade resumed, but the message was clear. Even the greatest maritime empire could be reached and humbled. After the Chola raids, Srivijaya's mandala system began to show cracks. Tributary states, sensing weakness, grew bolder in asserting independence. Some shifted allegiance to rising powers in Java, like the Kingdom of Kediri. Others began trading directly with foreign merchants, bypassing Srivijaya's ports. Palembang remained a center of power, but now it competed with other regional hubs. The unity that had held the maritime network together weakened. Control of the straits became a contested prize rather than a guaranteed possession. The 12th century brought increased competition from rival ports. The rise of ports along the Javanese coast and the Malay Peninsula siphoned trade away. Chinese Song dynasty records show a diversification of trading partners, with goods bypassing Srivijaya entirely. Arab and Indian merchants, once reliant on Srivijayan protection, began sailing directly to other ports. The spread of navigational knowledge reduced the dependency on the empire's way stations. The once central role of Srivijaya in the maritime Silk Road was gradually diluted. Srivijaya's reputation as a Buddhist learning center also faced challenges. Political instability reduced the ability of rulers to sponsor monasteries at the same scale. Meanwhile, other Buddhist centers in Burma, Thailand, and Cambodia attracted pilgrims and scholars. The Mongol invasions of China in the 13th century disrupted the regional balance of power. Trade patterns shifted yet again. The new Majapahit Empire in Java emerged as a dominant force, claiming influence over much of the archipelago. By the late 13th century, Srivijaya was a shadow of its former self. In 1288, an expedition from the Majapahit-led Singhasari kingdom struck at Palembang. Records suggest Srivijaya's rulers were reduced to vassals. The final centuries saw Srivijaya's name fade from the records of foreign traders. Its once mighty fleets disappeared from the straits. Local Malay kingdoms rose in its place, inheriting parts of its culture but not its empire. Though it vanished as a political power, Srivijaya's influence endured. It had been the first great maritime empire of Southeast Asia, proving that control of the seas could rival the power of land-based kingdoms. It shaped trade networks that would last for centuries. It spread Buddhism across the region and fostered a cosmopolitan culture in its ports. Archaeologists today piece together its story from scattered inscriptions, Chinese chronicles, and the artifacts pulled from riverbeds and mangrove swamps. The wooden palaces have rotted away, but the legacy of a thalassocracy that once commanded the waves survives in the histories of the region. Its rise and fall offer a lesson repeated throughout history. Dominance over trade is never permanent. The same currents that carry wealth can just as easily carry it away. If you want to uncover more gripping tales of vanished kingdoms and the tides that carried them away, subscribe to Tales Lost in Time.